Hello, I'm PJ Bishop, and welcome to my channel. As you can see here, we are August 1st, and not doing great at all. 47 and 55, so 8 games below 500, and we're pretty much going to be stuck there for the rest of the year. I don't see us doing anything to get back into a wild card chase. I wouldn't even say get back to it. I don't think we're ever really in a wild card chase. At this point, we're 7.5 games out of it. I'm more concerned with developing my talent and kind of letting guys play out and see how they develop heading into next season. Now, the trade deadline has come and gone, so you might look at my lineup and see some new faces, some unfamiliar faces, or rather names, since we're not quite sure who the names are. And we'll go over that. So let's take a look at my leadoff man, and he's pretty steady for us all season. Is Jordan Groshans. Again, he's not a spectacular guy, but he's kind of the best option we have so far. Perhaps next year we'll have a better option. He's not bad. He's done very well for us. Just an okay. Defensively, he's solid at third base, which is what I like. I do like his defense, but you don't really look for defense first at third. And he's not really your typical third base profile. As you can see, his home run power is extremely low. I would like to see him get on base better, like near the 400s, not so low as where he is right now. So he's not really, I don't see him long-term sticking out at third base for us. I think eventually he will move to the bench, and then someday, probably would be his prime, end up being traded. Although he still has room for improvement, but I'm not holding my breath on that. Our number 2 guy is going to be catcher Wilson Rosario. He is a new acquisition. Got him not that long ago with a trade from Milwaukee. I like him. Now, defensively, he's a huge step down from Zunino, who's an excellent catcher on the defensive side. But offensively, this kid is fabulous. He should develop into a really good offensive bat. Should hit for high average. He's already hitting for 301 this year for us. Actually, for me, he's hitting at 381. For Milwaukee, he was hitting 284. This is a very small sample size. This was in 6 games for us. But he's playing very well. Has a 911 OPS with me. So since I've received him, he looks good. Looks like he does. He's a hard worker, just seems to struggle. But he projects to be a really good offensive bat. His bat-to-ball skills are going to be elite. He's going to have, above average. He's going to have good home run power, good gap power. So offensively, he's going to be a stud machine. Definitely somebody that I can see hitting out of the 3 spot. That's how good he can develop. And someday he may be a catcher hitting out of the 3 spot. But 3, possibly a 2. So he's really good. I like him a lot. I think it was an excellent trade. I forgot who I traded him for, who I traded to get him. But he's young. We have team control over him. He's a rookie. And he's kind of our catcher of the future now. So this is what I said about that we're looking to develop. And focusing less on wins right now and more on developing and getting solid talent like this. So I am happy about this kid. And number 3, and an all-star this year, is Jazz Chisholm Jr. That's right. I got him back into the all-star game. After a little absence, he's back in it as a center fielder. Hitting well, although he's in a little slump lately, down to 795 OPS, but overall he's pretty good. Still on pace for 25 homers and 100 stolen bases. So these numbers are slowly going down as we get closer to the end of the year. Not sure what his final numbers will become, but it still will be impressive if he gets anywhere. He's already got 63 stolen bases this year. So he even hits the 2070 club or whatever he ends up getting. It's still extremely elite. And in more exciting news, we signed him to a 10-year deal. I think it's a very team-friendly deal that keeps him here for many years to come, as he gets nowhere higher than just $10 million a year in what would still be his prime, in his 30s. early 30s. And then we can opt out. We have a team opt out at age 36, which I will definitely opt out if I don't trade him, which I don't want to trade him. I'm hoping he'll just retire. So it doesn't hurt my feelings. It doesn't hurt his feelings because he's been in Miami ever since his career started. He does get a little buyout. So, and hopefully he does stay good because he has promised a starting lineup role. But as you can see, I think it's a very friendly contract. Next year, just $5 billion, so it leaves wiggle room to get some better players to surround him with because he's currently the number 3 hitter. I don't know if that will stay forever as he ages and other players progress, but he locked him up. I'm fairly certain he's been with Miami all his life. Yeah. Although it doesn't show his minor league career. Interesting. You only know what he's done in the pros. So he's been with us at least since 2020, and hopefully he retires with us. With a contract like that, I don't plan to get rid of him because he's an excellent hitter. He's also a really good defender, and he's versatile. And he has this going for him. So he has way too much going for him for me to get rid of him. He can improve a little bit. I'm not sure where. I guess the gap power. That's the only thing really holding him back. Defensively, he's got some spots he can grow, but yeah, that's the exciting part. All-star, and we got him locked up now for years to come, pretty much for the rest of his career. And number 4, cleanup man is first baseman Nico Cavadas. I think he's gone a little cold spell, and I think he's settling in as this is going to be his overall. At one point, he was rated a little higher, but I think as he kept playing and we kept getting more information on him, this is kind of what he's going to be settled into. A really good home run guy. Hopefully he'll hit more than 21 as he gets a little older and into his prime. But this is it. And although he might be one of those pieces this offseason that I end up moving for a different position, as I have, I think, space to do so, as I did acquire another first baseman that we'll get into pretty soon. But I'm not really hitting a high average. OPS is okay. He's hovering around as an average player. But he might be the casualty in my first base depth chart. Batting number 5 is Alex Binelas. We got him from Toronto. He was the number 92 overall prospect on the season. He's hitting 797 OPS. Projected to be really good. He's really a first baseman. I moved him to right field because I needed his bat in the lineup because he's got a really good looking bat. Potential to be a number 3 hitter. So there's because he's already maxed out with his home run power. And although he hasn't hit one for us yet, it's been 7 games and we're still waiting for his first home run with us. And actually, since we acquired him, he's played pretty poorly. 630 OPS versus Toronto's 824. But he is a really good defender at first base. And this is the reason why we're going to be getting rid of Cavadas. Because he's 60-65. What was Cavadas? Yeah, 50-65. So that's a huge difference to me. One could be a potential 3 spot, while the other one is basically just your 4 or 5, maybe 8, in worst case scenario, 9 hitter. So while this one here can hit in a 3 spot, if he fully develops, he can hit in a 3 spot, and he's a traditional first baseman and a really good one. It's like this is a Gold Glove caliber kind of first baseman, alongside to go with his huge bat. So he could be a Silver Slugger along with a Gold Glove kind of player. This one might have been the Sandy Alcantara trade. I'm trying to think if this is who we ended up giving up. This might have been Sandy, as if you might have seen. We do not have Sandy as our number 1 pitcher. It's now Tyler Mahle. Anyway, number 6, second baseman Jordan Westbrook. I'm slowly starting to fall in love with this kid. Didn't like him all that much. When I had him, he didn't get really into the lineup till later on into the season, but he's been hitting really well. OPS of 819. Slugging percentage is up there. The average is up there. Even though he doesn't look here like he's all that great, and he's okay here, he's really somehow I think he's outperforming his ratings, which is always scary when they outperform their ratings. Because is this wrong or is this wrong? Something has to correct itself. Although these aren't terrible by any means, they're just not. I just didn't expect an 819 OPS kind of caliber from this. If it was in the 700s, low to approaching mid 700s, I would understand. But it's not. It's an 819. He's actually hitting OPS wise better than Jazz, who was an all-star at center field. So just for comparison's sakes there. Batting number 7, left fielder Harold Castro, traded with Colorado. I forgot who Colorado won. They wanted somebody from, I forgot who it was. It was insignificant. I just saw that he was okay and he was hitting well. So I figured, nah, why not? And then, of course, as soon as he gets here, he kind of sucks. You can see at Colorado, he had an 850 OPS, 337 average. Only in 22 games, though. And then for us, he's hitting at 657. So he's definitely dipped down since he's gotten here. I'm hoping he corrects himself. Either way, I think I got him just as a temporary piece, holding piece, until we either sign somebody better or someone from a minor leagues comes up. Because he's only on for one more year, and I'm fairly certain I'm not going to meet his arbitration requirements and let him go as a free agent. Batting number 8 is shortstop, Ceddanne Rafaela. Again, we like this kid. Even though he's struggling, I do like him because of his versatility. Defensively, he is good at really so many positions that it's hard to not want to keep him, despite being below average offensively. We still want him to develop to become an average offensive player, and he may be able to do that. I'd like to see him get a little more pop. I don't think it's going to happen. I think this is the best we're going to get. This may just come as the avoid Ks goes up and the contact goes up. Maybe that will raise this up to the average level. I'd like to see him get one more tick in speed. But defensively, he's solid. And because of that, he's always going to have a home. Whether it's in the... And he's still 23, so there is room for him to change and become a little better. But I don't expect the power to get there. He's sitting around 150 pounds. And batting in our 9 spot is DH Jacob Berry. I think as you can see, over the last 5 games, he's gotten a little better. Although 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, that helps. But this is why I said first baseman Nick Cavados is probably going to be out of here. Because he's also going to develop very similar, better as well. He's projected to be better as a hitter. I think he's a little more versatile. Like he could play third base in an extreme pinch. I would rather not, though. But again, he's supposed to develop into a better hitter than Cavadas, and that makes Cavadas the odd man out in the first base group. So that's the lineup. It is a little different. 3 new faces. Wilson, the new face. Alex and Harold Castro, they all new. Don't know. He probably won't be around for next year, which will open up a spot for somebody else, hopefully a free agent. Because we got money now. We got $9 million for a free agent. We also got $55 million for extensions. So I can definitely keep some of my star players for longer than I expected, which is what keeps me excited. Because if you look at my contracts, where are the contracts? Why are my salaries? Jose Barris he's still under $15 million for a while, up to 2027. But then he could be interesting trade bait, as I do expect him to regress as he gets a little Tom Mail. We can essentially see him for the rest of his contract. But as you look here, there's not too many guys that I'm concerned about. Even Chaz, $10 million is the most. But we got so much team control over so many guys. Look how many are. It's just team control, friendly, low contracts for years, which makes me happy to see that we have control over so many good players for many years to come. Oh, also, Tyler Mayo was a All-Star this year. 2024 NL All-Star. his first All-Star ever. So I'd say that was a pretty good free agent signing. Late one too, January 30th. But, he's been solid for us, real solid. Did have a little hiccup here. Oh no, that's the All-Star game? Yeah, that was the All-Star game. Actually did pretty well in the All-Star game. Played one inning, allowed one hit, struck out one. I think recently he had a blow up. Yeah, this was his blow up game. What was it this game? No, he's been really solid. Even in his bad games, only 2 earned runs, 1 run. He's going pretty deep too. 7 innings, 6 innings. That was the blow up game, Minnesota, right before the All-Star game. Gave up 10 earned runs. But he's gotten back on track after that. But I like him. He's been real good for us this year. Whip is pretty good. Home run rate, ball walks, just solid overall. Well worthy of the contract and well worth the All-Star appearance. Also, new pitching change as they did move Fulton to the bullpen and moved Trevor Rogers into the starting pitcher slot. He was an All-Star back in 2021. And he must have really fallen off from his All-Star year. I got 2 stars now. But he's a tireless worker, so. And he's definitely improved enough to where I think he's worthy of a. He hasn't given up an earned run in at least the last 5 appearances. And some were pretty heavy 3 innings, 2 innings, 2 innings. And that's out of the bullpen, too. So we'll see what he does as a starter. More of a holding piece until next year. We'll see what we have. I also did call up a new kid. Eric Pardino is a new kid that I called up. I got him to trade with Toronto as well. It was kind of a throw-in, along with some of the other guys. I like him a lot. I think he can develop into a solid setup man, potential closer someday, if he keeps improving. I think he looked good for. So he went straight from Double-A all the way up to. He looked pretty good. Although they always seem a little worse for me, but he was solid for Toronto. Although his strikeout rate at 16 is really good. Just needs to lower the walk rate a little bit. But that's gonna be tough considering his control is 30. But he's not gonna give up home runs. He's just gonna walk way too many dudes. So if he comes in, you need to make sure that the bases are empty. You got 2 or 3 men on, bases loaded. He's gonna be one of those guys that lets 1 or 2 runs score because of his walks. But that's it for that. I don't know how we're winning games when we're so terrible in everything offensively. If you look at the runs against, it's now in middle half of everything. Stars area is not too bad. Bullpen area is not too bad. Pretty solid defensively. 5th in errors. Blast in zone rating. That's going to happen because I change players around. They're playing positions they've never seen before. That will get better over time as they get accustomed to it. It takes years to adjust, I think. Seems to slowly go up. Let's look at the top prospects, which we've got a lot now. We've got a lot of guys now. We've got 24 players that I consider top prospects. Some moved in, some moved out. You might see a name missing that you were accustomed to seeing, and then you guys see a new name that you're unfamiliar with. Let's check out. We'll just go in order. We got Fernando De La Rosa, Miami Dominican Summer League. How's he doing? He's struggling. Then we got Alejandro Hidalgo. He's in high A. He's also struggling, although not bad. I think at the end of this year, I think he's going to move up to Double-A next year. I believe he also made the Futures game. I can't remember. But I'll be moving him up. He's getting closer and closer to being possibly called up, but he'll be in Double-A next year. Ethan Pecco, he was a draft pick. Liam Peterson, Florida Complex. Did I draft him? I don't think I drafted him. I got him with a trade from Los Angeles Angels. I wasn't playing well. Really high ERA, terrible whip, pretty much bad across the board. But I do like him. I think he can develop into a solid pitcher. He looks like he's a hard worker. Studies the game like no other and will give you 1% effort on and off the field to improve his game. He's unhappy. I don't know why. He's gotta start playing a little better. But looking forward to see what he does. As I think we made some good trades at the end to kind of pick up players that I think have potential. Hank Pfeiffer, I believe that was a draft pick. That was my 5th round pick. Closer Austin Roberts, he's a familiar face. He was playing for me earlier in the year. But he's struggling. He's struggling in the minors, which means I don't want to take a gamble on you in the pros or in the majors. We'll probably seeing him again next season. He'll get another shot because he is good enough. It's just it's not clicking for some reason. We'll give him a shot next year again. Catcher Blake Mitchell. Was he a draft pick? He was from last year. Last year, 1st round, 35th overall. Playing really well. Will definitely be called up for the low A next season. Or moved up, as you can see. He's could have possibly done so this year. But I didn't want to promote him quite yet, as I want to see more, because he's not developed at all. This is what it is currently. That's bad. Defensively, he's pretty darn solid, but that's just terrible. And there's no rush to promote him. We have a catcher that I like quite a lot. And as you can see here, I got 3 more first basemen here. Look at that. We got 4-star, 4.5, 3-star. We're getting way too crowded at first. Let's see. Let's go with the Double-A Brock Vandenberg. That was the trade with the New York Yankees. That was a last-minute deal with the Yanks. Again, a young kid. It looks like he's going to be just an above average. For me, he'll probably never see the pros or Major League Baseball. He'll never see the show because I just can't imagine him being better than anybody else I have. Someday he'll be part of a trade that somebody wants, and I'll be willing to send him away. I got a ton of first base prospects. And let's see here. Then we got we already went over him. He was my draft pick. Like he's the real guy that I like a ton. And Luis Ferreira, he's still at the International Complex, second base. We got Davis Diaz over at high A. That was a trade this year with Milwaukee. He's another kid that we acquired. I like him a ton at second base. He's got really good air. His arm's not that strong, but at second base, it's not really necessary. He's going to be a good hitter. 0 pop whatsoever, as far as I'm concerned. Struggling a little bit right now at the high A. He was playing low A for them, but he was good enough for high A, and that's why I put him there. But he's kind of struggling right now. Hopefully that changes. As I have high hopes for him. I like him. I like him a ton. I think he can be a good one. We also have 2 in the Florida complex. We have Chris Rambert, who I drafted this year, so we already went over him. And we also have Adrian Santana, who I traded with Seattle not that long ago. He is defensively a stud. Offensively, he looks like he'd be okay. And this I like a lot as well. So he's kind of like he's going to be really okay at everything. He's struggling right now. He's struggling. And, yeah. Doing worse for me than he was for them. But it's still very early on. Hopefully that improves. And then we have third baseman, AAA Yidi Kapi. I really like him a lot. Has a chance to break spring training on my active roster next year. As he's starting to develop and look nice all across the board. And just needs to play a little better. As you can see, he definitely slowed down once he hit AAA. He'll finish out the year. And has a chance to break camp as the starting third baseman. Adrian Harris probably over. Yeah, Khalil Watson in high A. He's definitely slowed down a lot as well. Down at 769. But he'll be in Double A next year, getting ever so much closer with his elite ability to play short. I want to say elite, but really good ability to play short. And really good on base skills. It could develop into a good hitter. Well worthy of a shortstop spot because he's already got the defense. Florida Sunlight, Bryce Rainer, we already went over him. And then Phelan Celestin. Kind of trade with Seattle. That was way back in January. He is playing well. Still not good enough to come stateside yet. We'll see how, because again, they just develop so slowly. I just don't like that. I don't know why it's such a slow development. It's so annoying. They come in so bad that they can't even bring them over stateside. Left fielders, they're international. High A, Jack Hurley. He's also had a cold spell. Holding his own. He's again one of those guys getting closer to being majorly ready. We'll start the season in Double A next year. How are we doing right fielders? Got Low A, Walker Jenkins. Again, slowly developing. Struggling in Low A. He was destroying it. That's why I moved him up. Here he's been below average as a player, but that will improve over time. He was one of those. He was our first round pick last year. And what else we got here? Florida Complex, we already went over Chris. And then we got Sebastian Walcott over in the Dominican Summer League. He's playing, a little above average maybe. But again, he's so far away from coming stateside with that kind of skill set there. Probably spend one more year in Dominican Republic before we move him up. So that's it. That's it for the prospects. We just got a couple more months really to go. The season's over. At this point, we're just trying to develop and get more reps and get this team to improve so we can be better next year and acquire enough, maybe in the off season, to make a significant playoff push next year. Thanks for watching.